O Thor finalmente caiu nas graças da galera, principalmente depois de Thor Ragnarok e da sua chegada em Wakanda em Vingadores Guerra Infinita. Mas será que o Deus do Trovão é páreo para o Matador de Deuses?
Matar um deus tem consequências!
Por quê? Como você sabe? Como você sabe?
No vídeo de hoje nós vamos mostrar um pouco de 3 entrevistas que a gente fez lá na BGS 2018. Nós conversamos com Puryear de Call of Duty Black Ops 4, o Luiz Villegas que veio ao Brasil falar sobre a expansão de Destiny 2 e finalmente com Cory Barlog, diretor de God of War, que respondeu algumas perguntas bem divertidas sobre o jogo. Mas antes de partir para as entrevistas, vou pedir para você descer aqui, se inscrever no canal e clicar no sininho para ativar as notificações e não perder mais nenhum vídeo da Legião dos Heróis. Já aproveita e deixa aquele like e vambora para as entrevistas.
Bravo secure.
The Brazilian fans are so engaged in games, especially in FPS. I mean, we have the best CSGO players in the world. So and how do you see the Brazilian community in the Call of Duty franchise?
They are consistently the ones that are vocal, their passion. When they come here to show up, when we start to look at the engagement that we had globally on the beta, both the multiplayer and Blackout. Sometimes you forget when you're making the game in your office how much reach we do have globally. And I'm reminded every time that I come down how passionate people here are for Brazil. It's really exciting to see.
Now, one of the most expected additions to this game is the Battle Royale system. What will be different between this Battle Royale and the other ones that have already established?
As you can imagine, at the studio, we play a lot of games. And we had a lot of folks playing Battle Royale, but one of the core things, like I believe I mentioned before, was this social element. How do we get people to play together? And so we've done a lot of systems in multiplayer for that, but Battle Royale, you've got to work together. You've got to communicate. You don't know what's going to happen between inventory management, where you're going to go on the map. So for us, looking at the Battle Royale and looking at it through the lens of Call of Duty and some of the core principles that we had, looking at Battle Royale just to look at Battle Royale wasn't the intent. It was really, how can we make it our way? The fact that the map is, believe it or not, 1,500 times bigger than Nuketown, right? So when you look at the totality of everything that we're doing, the Blackout mode and Battle Royale mode just offers a unique play experience, but it was important for us to put our spin on what that was.
My experience was so grateful to see places that I have seen before in other games, in other versions of the Call of Duty. That was so amazing. Visit these places again.
And I think too, being able to look at it from a Black Ops universe. So now you see, is that woods? Oh, there's zombies here? So really being able to celebrate, the entire series adds some nostalgia and also what makes it a little bit different than others.
We need to talk about zombies because it's one of the most that we have less information about it, at least here in Brazil. And what could you say for us? What can we expect from this mode and why gladiators?
Why not gladiators? We're really excited about and really proud of all the work that we've been able to do on zombies. You've got 3 different experiences this time, and in typical zombies fashion, we're doing some mind games and doing great things with the storyline. So there's just so much content that we have on this disc for zombies that there's so much to play. Teams really worked on adding depth, different game modes, the ability to customize it. Just like what we've done with multiplayer, we've just added a depth of design that zombie players, whether you're new at it or old at it, there's going to be something for everybody.
Sounds amazing.
Nunca tive melhor.
Bueno, ¿y qué podemos esperar de esta nueva expansión de Destiny?
Bueno, en Destiny Forsaken nos enfocamos en 2 metas. La primera es restablecer Destiny como un hobby y la segunda es capturar la imaginación de nuestros jugadores. Entonces, cuando miras la expansión Destiny Forsaken, vas a ver una historia más oscura, una historia de venganza, una historia en la que perdiste tu mentor y quieres saber qué fue lo que pasó. También vas a ver que al final del juego vas a tener muchas actividades nuevas con las que puedes jugar con tus amigos. Creamos un nuevo espacio que lo llamamos la ciudad de los sueños o The Dreaming City, que cambia cada semana y te da retos nuevos cada semana y que todavía los jugadores no han encontrado todos los secretos que existen ahí.
ya conocimos la historia de Cade en este juego y es sensacional. Y que otros personajes podremos ver en el futuro de Destiny también ganando cada vez más espacio dentro de la historia.
Sí, bueno, vamos a seguir evolucionando la historia de Destiny. O sea, no quiero decir mucho porque ya viene Black Armor y ya lo tenemos encima y tenemos dentro de poquito un big reveal que vamos a contar un poquito más de la historia. Pero sí, el universo de Destiny es tan grande que siempre puedes contar una historia distinta basada en el pasado de los demás. Viste en Curse of Osiris, en Warmind, ahora en Forsaken con Cade. Vamos a seguir haciendo lo mismo.
Tengo que decir que yo siempre fui un gran fan de los juegos de Bungie. Halo, desde Oni, siempre me gustó. Y con Destiny yo siento que estoy volviendo a un mundo que ya conocí anteriormente, pero estoy explorando más y conociendo más el espacio. ¿Ustedes planean en algún momento volver a alguno de los juegos anteriores de Bungie en una nueva secuencia o un nuevo game totalmente inédito, pero con elementos de otros games? ¿Cómo es el futuro para Bungie?
Sí, la forma que pensamos nosotros es vamos a coger todo ese pedigree que tenemos en first person shooters y seguir evolucionando la franquicia de Destiny. Es una franquicia de muchos años, a más de 10 años, estamos en el punto de la mitad, entonces vamos a seguir enfocándonos en cómo traemos esos 30 segundos de diversión constantes a la franquicia.
We have seen the Greek mythology so many times in the God of War franchise. And why have you decided to turn your eyes to the Norse mythology? And at some point, did you ever consider to explore another mythologies, maybe in the future?
I knew when I came back that we needed to go to a new mythology. We needed kind of a fresh start. And we looked at a bunch of mythologies. So when we were doing this, I looked at all the mythologies and it started to whittle down as the ones that were going to be right for this story. But I think in the future, if we end up making any more games, like all mythologies are open at this point.
Well, and would you like to see a movie adaptation of God of War? And if yes, who would you like to see portraying Kratos?
I really like the idea of a movie, but for me, the stories that we tell are kind of long format storytelling. Like we engage an audience and we're invited into their house for, 40 hours, right? And that's a long relationship we're creating with the audience. It's more akin to television. Television is inviting people in your living room, these characters, over the duration of 6 months as you watch everything. And now in the Netflix times, you're inviting them in for 10 hours in one sitting, right? Because that's how I binge everything. And for me, I would really love to see us venture into something of a long format storytelling. And honestly, I think Chris Judge nailed it as Kratos. I try to use the original cast because to me, they nailed every part, I would, that's if they were to let me cast and direct the whole thing.
And let's say that God of War gets a movie adaptation and in the future we get a crossover between God of War and the Avengers. Who do you think will win in a match to death between Kratos and Marvel's Thor?
That's a really interesting fight. I absolutely think that they would be evenly matched for a while, right? But I think in the end, Kratos would win. I mean, obviously, I'm biased because I, am part of this franchise. Marvel's Thor is extremely powerful, but I think that Kratos, the sort of demigod status that he has, he would probably eke out at the end.
E vocês, quem vocês acham que venceria numa disputa entre Kratos e o Thor da Marvel? Comenta aí embaixo. Já aproveita para seguir a Legião dos Heróis em todas as redes sociais e me segue lá também. É isso, Legionários, e que a força esteja com vocês.